The four sets of muscles that form the abdominal wall, both laterally and anteriorly, will be the following: rectus abdominis, the external obliques, the internal obliques, and the transversus abdominis. These are the muscles that are going to provide structure and support for your abdominal wall, and therefore will hold your viscera and organs in place. So let's look at them. Rectus abdominis tells you a lot about the muscle. That name tells you a lot. You know that rectus means that the fibers are going to run superior to inferior or vice versa. And sure enough, if you take a look at the diagram, you can see that the fibers are running superior to inferior. There will be various tendinous insertions in order to help provide stability and strength. You'll also see the external obliques and the internal obliques. How do you remember which direction the fibers for these two lie? Well, clearly they're going to lie at an angle, because that's what oblique means. It means fibers running at an angle or something at an angle. And in this case, you can remember that the external obliques fibers will run in the same direction your fingers would run if you put your hands in your pocket. So on a cold winter day, you don't have any mittens or gloves, and you take your hands and you shove them into your pockets, and the fingers are running in the same direction that the fibers of the external oblique will run. And you can remember that those are for the external obliques because they will be the most superficial fibers. And your hands in your pockets are more superficial than pretty much anything else in your coat. The internal obliques fibers will run in the opposite direction. So in other words, sort of vaguely from the iliac crest up towards the opposite chest wall. We have transversus abdominis, which will be the deepest layer, and that tells you that the fibers are going to run across the body like a transverse plane does. So think fibers running parallel to the floor. You will also see that there is the aponeurosis of the external oblique marked. That is actually known when it is complete as the abdominal aponeurosis. Remember that aponeurosis means broad, flat tendon. You'll also see, if you're looking at your diagram, a structure known as linea alba. And that is a tendinous interconnect for those muscles which helps supply support and anchoring for the muscles. So let's go over this a little bit. We are going to have the fascicles of these muscles running at angles to each other. And we want that because the fact that those fibers are running at various angles means that you're going to have additional strength to the abdominal wall. All of those muscles are going to be innervated by what are known as the intercostal nerves. So nerves that are associated with in between the ribs. That's what it's telling you. What are the actions of these guys? Lateral flexion, rotation of the trunk, and in addition, they are going to help promote normal bodily functions such as urination, defecation, childbirth, vomiting, coughing, and maybe not so normal in terms of activities of daily living, but screaming is added to that list. I like this because it shows you the muscles separated out. You can see the external obliques running, the fibers of the external obliques running sort of in the direction that your hand would be if you had your hands in a coat pocket. You can see the internal obliques running at an opposite direction. Lovely lateral view of the rectus abdominis. Fibers running superior, inferior. And then you also have the transversus abdominis, and many students find this the easiest one to remember because remember, a transverse plane is going to cut the body into superior and inferior